Hello everybody, welcome to today's flight. Today we're going to be flying from Toronto International Airport across to Halifax with the PMDG 737-800 as WestJet. We're just about to finish up boarding the passengers here and close to finishing up loading our baggage on board today's flight. But thank you guys very much for tuning into today's flight, and let's hop in the flight deck here and get the aircraft prepared for pushback. Okay, so we're in the flight deck here. Everything's pretty much set up. All we're going to do is maybe just take a look at some of our FMC stuff and the rest of the aircraft. We'll start the APU here very shortly. But if we take a look at our FMC, here's our takeoff ref. Pretty light aircraft for takeoff. And then if we go to our perf as well, and then our legs page, everything is set up here. So our flight plan's good. We will take a look at our setup here of the flight plan. So we'll go to plan mode. And let's go through the steps all the way through and see what we have for top of climb is right there. So continue. And then top of descent's just after Ebony waypoint. Then we vector, turn, and ILS for 2-3 at Halifax. Weather's looking good. Winds are 8 knot crosswind, 12 knot headwind, better than what we have here. Best running for departure on Toronto is a 18 knot headwind and a 20 knot crosswind, which is 3-3 right out of Toronto Pearson here. So that's what we got for our flight today. We'll go back to our, no, not legs page, our takeoff page. And we'll get up the, we'll start the APU here very shortly, since our baggage is going to be finishing up here very soon. Alright, so we'll head up top here and we'll get our APU started. So we'll go APU here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And APU bleed can also come on. Packs can go to auto. And that's all set up there. Now let's wait for the APU to start. Okay, so boarding has complete. We'll go to our EFB here. We can close our entry one left. And our cargo doors should automatically close. Yep, there they go. That one you have to manually close, but everything else is automatic. When they're all blue, it means they're all closed and locked. Everything should say open here, which means they're all closed. So all doors are closed and locked. That looks good. Okay. APU is booted up, so we can turn APU gen on. Do a quick cycle of the power. So APU on. And ground power off. Yaw dampers can come on. Everything's looking good here. Top. Yep, everything's looking good. So with that, now that everything's good, we will get ready to start our engines here. And call for pushback. But we'll remove our jetway first. Alright, so jetway's gone. Aircraft doors are all closed and locked, and we can tell by all the lights being extinguished from up here. So because we have all that sorted, we'll go over to here and release the ground power to make sure our APU gen's on. Yep, APU gen's on. Ground power is off. That looks good. We're going to release the ground power. Going to be disconnecting. While we're doing that, we're going to set the parking brake, and we'll remove chocks. There we go. So, doors all closed and locked. Good. Ground vehicles, of course, are all removed, and all ground connections are also removed. So we're all good there. Go to our electronic flight bag here. And we'll call for pushback and get ready here. So turn our beacon light on. Everything here looks good. APU gen running. So we are looking good. We will set this actually before it's too late. The 350. There we go. And our landing altitude is going to be 500. So because 477, 450 is too low, 500 is around it. So flight out 35,000, landing altitude 500. So now the aircraft will change and make sure it does that. So yeah, 35,000 and then 500 there. So that's all set there. Everything else looks good up top, so we can now call for our pushback and get on out of here. Okay, so pushback's ready to go. We'll release our parking brake. Packs will go off for the engine start. Engine 1, start. Go that to ground. Wait for our number that we want to see on the display there, which I think is 15. And then we'll start the engines here. There's 15. Start engine 1. All right, we'll start number 2 now. Over to ground. Wait for that 15-20% there on the N1 display, and then we'll start engine 2. And watch engine 2 start. All right, all engines are good. Let's let GSX know. Confirm a good engine start. There's no fuel in the middle tank. We don't need these ones on. Oh, there's sort of a big thump, I'm guessing because they're lowering. It's one of those pushback tugs that bring up the aircraft and then lower it, which is pretty cool. And we taxied a 3-3 right for our departure. While we're waiting for the pushback tug to disappear, I know I haven't been posting for a while. I've been very busy with school, and it's just school's been taking me away from posting and making videos on the channel. But because I have 2 weeks here of no school, I'll try and get my posting and content back up on the channel. As I like to make sure I'm posting flight sim content, but also might end up doing some other content on simulator games like Formula 1. So I've been getting into Formula 1 lately. So I will be doing some F1 24 driver career series videos, but continuing the flight sim series as well, with some maybe bush flying in the wilderness or something like that too. Alright, so we'll go flaps 5. 1, 2, 5. I think that's how the setup is. If we take a look right there, yeah, it's 1, 2, 5, and the indicator is there. I never knew there was an indicator there. I always used to look down there. Thank God there is one right here, though. Hey, we'll do a flight control test, so we'll go to our systems there. Look right here. Okay. We'll go left aileron, good. Right aileron, good. Elevator down, good. Elevator up, good. Left rudder, right rudder, all looking good there. Alright. We will go up top, turn our gens on. So, Gen 2 on, Gen 1 on, APU is off. APU gen can go off, APU bleed can go off, packs can come back to auto. Everything good here. We can turn our taxi light back on. And everything's looking good up top here. We will now start our taxi to runway 33 right. All right, now that we're approaching the runway here, I'll head up top here. We'll turn our landing lights on, turn-offs, taxi can come off, wing light on, and then our nav light will go to nav and strobe. There we go. So all lights over there are good. Landing lights on, runway turn-offs on, taxi light off. Ping the cabin so they know. And we'll get ready here now. Aircraft's ready to go. We'll set brakes to RTO. And VNAV, LNAV engage. Auto throttle engage. We are looking good here for our departure. Alright, controls are free. We already tested them, so we're good there. Line up on the runway here and get on out of here. Do have a slight headwind here, which is perfect. That's why they gave us this runway for the takeoff. But we will line up here, bring the engines up, throw our power in, and get on going. Alright. Go half on the throttles. Toga. $80 knots is cross-check, so we'll do that when it comes up, and... 80 knots. Neutral on the stick, checked. Rotate. Oh my god, that wind took us. Holy shit.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Gear coming up. Hey. On the climb out. Alright, so continue our hand flying here. And now we will engage the autopilot. Alright, so autopilot engaged, checked, auto throttle arm, checked, LNAV, VNAV, all good there. So now the aircraft will climb using VNAV as we make our way up. We can go flaps 1 though. Flaps 1. Zoom a little bit out here. We will be going to our direct waypoint here once we're above 5,000 feet. And we'll go flaps up. Okay, flaps up 0 degrees. That is good. Auto brake can go off. That is good. Autopilot's all good. We're on the climb out here. We'll head down to our flight plan and we'll go direct Vivet, which should take us in a slight right turn. Execute that, and we'll now go on course. One thing I forgot to do is our TCAS is off. Let me turn that on quickly. There we go. Yeah, weather's looking perfect in Halifax, according to Navigraph. Weather, visibility, looking good. Wind is not that bad. Temperature's all right. Clouds around 5,000 feet, but otherwise everything's better there than in Toronto here. All right, now let's continue our climb out here past 10,000. And we'll turn off the landing lights, and if it's all right, we'll turn off the seatbelt sign. Otherwise, we'll turn it off when we're above transition altitude. I don't know if you guys noticed from the wing view. I am using the Bing Maps satellite imagery. So instead of using like the block looking render scenery, I am using the maps, I think it's called Bing Maps data satellite imagery. So basically whatever you see on Bing Maps from a satellite view is what you'll see in the flight sim. It also makes the scenery and everything around much more realistic looking, and it's very nice too. So that is one reason I switched to that. So if you see the scenery looks a little bit different than the past flight sim videos, it's because I have the satellite imagery photogrammetry, whatever it's called, on, which makes all the scenery look much better, which I like it. It actually looks more realistic. Anyways, we're well above 10,000 feet now, so let's head up top here and turn our landing lights off, our runway turnoffs off, and our wing light off. So all those are good. I'm gonna wait till we're above transition altitude to turn off the seatbelt sign until we're past these clouds, in case of any unexpected turbulence. But for now, let's continue our climb out, making our way up to our transition altitude, make a check there, and then we'll head up to our cruise altitude. But for now, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the climb out here as we leave Toronto. Alright, so we're above our 18,000 feet transition altitude, so we'll hit our standard pressure button, which will change up a bunch of stuff. And aircraft's looking smooth here on our climb out. We're well above clouds, nice view here. So we'll look up top here and we'll turn off our seatbelt sign. So landing lights off, wing light off, and seatbelt sign off. So now we're clear for the climb out, making our way up all the way to flight level 350. So for now, just sit back, relax, enjoy the climb out up to our cruise altitude. We'll see you guys when we're at 350. All right, so now we are at our cruise altitude of flight level 350. Everything's looking good in the flight deck here. Autopilot's all good, aircraft's all good. Continue on flying. Shouldn't be that long of a flight until our top of descent coming up. Otherwise, everything's looking good. With that, since everything's looking good, seatbelt signs off, we're just going to continue cruising here at flight level 350. Make our way towards Halifax. And I'll see you guys just before our top of descent into Halifax. Otherwise, for now, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the flight onwards to Halifax. All right, we're coming up to our top of descent. We're going to lower our altitude here all the way down to probably about 5,000 feet, I'm going to say. And we're already starting our top of descent just like that pretty quickly. So now we're starting our descent on our way down to 5,000 feet or whatever the glide slope altitude is into Halifax. But right now everything's looking good. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this flight so far. We'll be doing more types of these videos on the channel and other simulator games as well. So as we continue our descent here into Halifax, the weather 10 knot crosswind, 8 knot headwind, so still looking good. VFR conditions, which is nice. Everything's looking good. Altimeter 2954 will change it after 18,000 feet. So it's just slightly above. Otherwise, everything's looking good. And with that, our ILS 23, it is 4,000 feet actually. So we're going to bring this down to 4,000 feet is what they're asking for on there. So as we start descent and make our way on down, we'll just make sure everything's ready on the aircraft. And then we'll get ready for the approach. But for now, we'll continue our descent down to our transition altitude, which is 18,000 feet. When we get to that, we'll do some checks to make sure everything's good. And then we'll continue the descent down to below 10,000 to make it for 4,000 for the glide slope and ILS into Halifax. Okay, we're now below our 18,000 transition altitude. So we'll hit our standard pressure button and we'll be bringing it to, well, I don't even remember what it was, 2954. Oop, that's way too far. There we go. 2954, 2954 cross check. That looks good. We need to put some drag out. There we go. I think that's all it can go. Yep, there we go. There we go. Now we can put the speed brake away. Looks like we're going to be doing flaps 40 at 141 knots. So 141 knots. That's set. So our approach reference is all set right there. I don't know if we need to set our ILS here. We do. So ILS is 109.90. We will change it in the nav here for the approach here. Let's just make sure. 109.90. That was easy. 109.90 checked. Switch that. So our nav active source is our ILS frequency, which is 109.90. So that's set. If we head back up to here, our front course, or not front course, our final approach course is 233. So we'll set this to 233. And there we go, course. So our final approach course is 233 and our nav is 109.90. FMC has that in there, so that's all set. We are ready for the ILS approach now into Halifax. Alright, since we're coming up to our 10,000 feet here, I'm going to turn on our landing lights. Runway turnoffs on. Seatbelt sign on and wing light on. Yeah, everything is set for the approach. FMC, everything is set. We're probably going to do an auto brakes 2 lane because we're not that heavy. So we'll bring this to auto brakes 2 and we'll zoom in just a little bit so we can see it. So auto brakes level 2 checked. Auto brakes are 2. Everything else is good there. Good there and up top as well. Okay, everything's looking good. So everything's looking good here. We're below 10,000 feet. Landing lights on. Seatbelt sign on. Everything's looking good. Auto brakes 2. Nav set. FMC set. We're ready for the continuing the descent and getting ready for the approach and landing into Halifax. Okay, so right now we are going to reduce our speed a little bit here. There we go. Bring our speed brake out. Drag required, I understand. There we go. Bring our speed knob up, and we're going to go down to 200 knots. Zoom in just a little bit. We're going to go flaps 5. And we'll get ready for the landing here. Because now it's the fun part. It is the fun part now. Okay, speed brake can go away, and then we'll arm it. And that's what we'll do. Okay, speed brake arm, check. Speed brake arm, auto brakes 2, checked. Up top looks good. Now we just have to watch our speed and flaps, and we're set from there. Weather's looking good. Wind is pretty strong, but everything else is looking pretty good here for the approach into Halifax. Alright, and we'll reduce speed to 180 once we are just about to turn onto our glide slope. But for now, everything's looking good. Nothing to worry about. A little bit turbulent though. The wind is pretty strong. Just make sure seatbelt signs are on. Yep, everything's up there good. We'll turn now onto final. Bring our altitude more down. Let's go to that. About 3,500. We'll bring it down to 3,000. Bring our speed back now. 170. Instead of 180, we're gonna go 170. Bring out more flaps, and we're gonna have to bring our speed brake more out. A little bit turbulent though for the approach here. A little bit windy. Scenery looks amazing though. Like, come on now. Photogrammetry satellite is awesome. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, it's probably because of our altitude. That sound is very annoying. I'm wondering, I think it's because our flaps. So we'll just change that up quickly. Yeah, it's because our flaps. Makes sense. So flaps 15 is gear down. Sorry about that. Okay, we're on final here. We'll hit VOR localizer. There we go. And then we'll hit the approach button once the glide slope comes into effect. Check, we'll throw the gear down now. Hit the approach button. Bring our speed down to 160. Runway in sight. Everything's looking good. Localizer and glide slope on, because we clicked the approach button. And 115. Speed brake is still out. I almost forgot about that. Let's bring that back in, and then we'll arm it. Okay, speed brake arm checked. Auto brakes 2 checked. Up top looks good. Give the cabin a ping, and we should be good here. 141's our landing speed? Yeah, 141's the landing speed. All right. A little bit windy. Jeez, the wind is crazy. All right. Speed set. What is going on with the aircraft is my question. Very windy. 60 knot crosswind here. Aircraft setup, flaps full. We're good here. And we'll get ready for this landing, which I'm going to be honest, it might not be the best because of the wind, but I hope it's going to be okay. Visibility is not the best, but that's all right. We'll be disengaging autopilot here very shortly. Checked. Autopilot disengage. I've controlled the aircraft. My controls. Everything looks good. Aircraft's ready for landing. And enjoy the landing, everybody. A little bit high, we'll try and correct that.
400.
Aim for the numbers.
300. Glide slope. Glide slope.
We're gonna ignore the glide slope there.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And we're down. Reverser's out. Reverser's green. That was actually not a bad crosswind landing. That was actually, I'm surprised about that. And nose down gently. There we go. Reverser's green, decel. Speed brake up. Not a bad landing at all. Manual braking. We'll take this exit right here. Welcome to Halifax Stanfield. Flight time 2 hours from Toronto. Very nice landing. Maintained the crosswind, which we had, I think, a 17 or 18 knot crosswind. Maintained it. Nice centerline landing. I'm satisfied with that. And a very nice touchdown too. Just the touchdown zone was slightly off. Okay, we'll bring our flaps all the way up. Flaps are up. We're going to be turning right here. And the gate we want is gate 18, if I'm not mistaken. Gate 18, so we'll let them know too. Gate 18. No. WestJet. There we go. Gate 18, we'll have our marshaller there. Bring our speed brake up. There we go. Flaps are up. That looks good. We're also going to look up top here. Wing light off. Put that only to nav. Tax light on. All these can go off. And APU 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. APU starting. And taxi light on, runway turn-offs and landing lights off. Strobe light off, wing light off. That all looks good up top, and APU bleed can come on. Everything's up top, looking good. Let's continue our taxi here to the gate, which is gate 18 is what we're parking at. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this flight, flying from Toronto to Halifax with the PMDG 737-800 as WestJet. This is a real-world flight. Flight number is WestJet 254. Yep, WestJet 254 is our flight number. IRL flight. So I like to do those. Mainly do real-world flights. It's kind of nice. Cool as well. We can turn our flight directors off. There we go. And continue our taxi. Remember, gate 18 is what we're parking at, so it's not going to be that far from where we are right now. Our gate's right here, but for some reason, there's a pushback tug right on it, so just ignore that. That's just the greatness of Microsoft Flight Sim. Just follow this. Brake right there, and parking brake set. APU gen on. There we go, and engines can be turned off, which also means taxi light off, anti-collision light off, and Supple sign off. There we go. Welcome to Halifax. And now, as the ground crew is now deboarding the aircraft, we got passengers getting off the aircraft, we got luggage coming off the aircraft. That's going to do it for this flight, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this flight sim video. I will be trying to post more and more of these in the future on the channel as well. But otherwise, thank you guys very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. And like always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace!